Good morning, everybody. My name is Mr. Bacon. I am your instructor for the day. What I want to cover in this quick video, about 10 minutes, 10, 11 minutes, is how to write a good paper for me and AMU. You are going to be doing two papers, and in the case of some of you, you'll be doing a PowerPoint, which is fine. And I need to point out to you some of the particulars that I'm looking for. Every professor, every instructor has their own little quirks. It's based on the standard formatting of Chicago Turabian, MLA, or APA, but there are some modifications. I'd like to get into that with you. If you follow these instructions, you will do just fine. Okay, you should have printed off by now two papers, one on the Battle of Bentonville and the other one on the telegraph. And I'm going to point out to you some of the things I am looking for specifically. This is the cover page, of course. And as you can see, there's a nice title at the top, and it's big enough to catch the attention of an old senile professor or a third grader. Underneath it is an appropriate picture. Yes, it's a picture of the battle. Do not put a picture of yourself. I've seen that. Okay, down near the bottom is where you put your name, the course title, my name, and the date. Please note the very, very bottom center is a page number. I don't consider that necessary. This is how I like to see all cover pages. Notice that the name block is right justified. Okay, the next page. This is a biggie. Okay, get this all straightened out here for you. All right, every paper has to have an introduction paragraph, and it is composed of a couple of parts. One, you have to have a thesis statement. The thesis statement is essentially one sentence, one only, that tells the reader everything you need to know to tell the reader what you're going to cover in your paper. In this case, if you look at this paragraph, this person selected to put it at the bottom of the paragraph. This paper will briefly review blah blah. Okay, putting it at the bottom of the paragraph is perfectly acceptable, or at the top, or anywhere, but to make sure the reader knows this is your thesis statement, again, one sentence that covers everything, this person underlined it, and I like that. Elsewhere in the paragraph, this person is writing about or mentioning their three main points they intend on covering. And this person, he also underlined these as well. If it's difficult for an ordinary reader to be able to pick out the thesis statement and or the main points, it will start to cost you. It's got to be clearer. Now, if you take a good close look at the paragraph underneath, you'll see it says the Union Army left a trail of scorched and devastated earths, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the sentence, you got in parentheses, Bradley, 1996. And you'll see he's got it throughout the entire paragraph. This is internal sourcing, or citation. If you do not have it, technically your paper is plagiarized, and you know what that means. So there's a couple rules of thumb that go with this. First, when in doubt, cite. If it's a chunk of quote longer than two sentences, cite it for sure. If it's a piece of information that an ordinary third grader would not normally know, cite it. Now, the first thing that I do when I start reading that second paragraph and I see Bradley in there, it automatically refers me to the bibliography. So immediately I go to the bibliography. Bibliography looks like this. Okay, notice that it's got very large print, all caps, underlined, and centered. Bibliography. The words works cited is just fine as well, or sources. Note that the sources this person used are listed alphabetically by author's last name. Hint, hint. It doesn't matter what format, MLA, APA, or Chicago Turabian, it's this way. And as you can see, right up here, this person has a Bradley entry, 1996, which means a typical professor, in his laziness, can go to the library or the internet and pull this exact book up and go to that exact sentence that the person mentioned. This is what a proper bibliography must look like. Hint, hint. Now back to the paper. All papers that you're going to be doing are 3 pages or more. Okay, now read my lips. Not 2.9, not 2.8, but 3 full pages. So as you can see with this person, this includes the introduction and the conclusion. All right, there's your first page, second page, third page. And in this case, this person did exactly what is needed. Went into the 4th page. That's fine, and did not go over. Now, there's 2 things I'm looking for on this last page. And this is considered an absolute no-no in English departments, but I don't particularly care. Because in this paragraph right up here at the top, this is where you can finally use, once and for all, the word I, or in my opinion. I want to know in one paragraph, and as you can see how long it is right there, one paragraph, what you personally think about your subject. I think Joan of Arc was an idiot. I think Robert E. Lee was a genius, and here's why, etc., etc., etc. Okay, and then at the very bottom, the last paragraph, and you can see it's underlined, in conclusion, etc., etc. But in here, you must have the thesis statement and a mention of your 3 main points somewhere in there, just reworded. So here's the bottom line to all this. This is a typical military way of doing things. Tell the person what you're going to tell them, introduction. Tell them, body of the paper. And tell them what they told them, conclusion. In other words, the introduction and conclusion are essentially what are called manager's synopsis, or manager's close-up piece. If the manager doesn't want to read your entire paper, all they have to do is read your introduction or conclusion, and they know exactly what it's all about. Get used to that. Many, many bosses, military or real world, go for this format. So, here's the bottom line to this. You're going to have a cover page, a paper, which includes an introduction, an opinion, a conclusion, which is going to be 3 full pages out to a maximum of 4, and a bibliography. So we're looking at 5 to a maximum of 6 total pages. A couple of minor things. The margins, as you can see right here, by college rules, must be 1 inch in, all around. Next, if you take a look right here at the indentions, by college rules, all indentions must be 5 spaces in, no more, no less. Now, the last thing, and this is one of my biggies, is in high schools and junior high schools, students evidently are not taught anymore about things like punctuation, commas, spelling, and all that sort of stuff. And I get kind of irritated by that because I'm seeing it more and more and more. So, once you have finished your paper, I strongly suggest you run it through some program which will check for all these things, especially commas. And once you're done, have somebody else read it before you get it to me. I don't care who it is, because that person will catch mistakes that you don't catch. Hint, hint. Now, pick up the paper on the telegram. Okay, I use this as a model for my brick and mortar classes, and I tell them this is a short version. I also give them a copy of the one that you just had in your hand. Okay, and you're going to see some right things and wrong things with this. All right, it is an example. All right, take a look at the title. Start asking yourself questions. Is this going to be correct? Is this the right way to do it? Okay, title, big? Yes. Picture, good. Okay, and down near the bottom, you got the name block. Notice where he has this. It needs to go down to the bottom right-hand corner, 1 inch up from the bottom, and 1 inch in. Hint. All right, next page. Okay, here we go. All right, as you read this at your leisure, please ask yourself, In this introduction paragraph, does this person happen to have a thesis statement you can pick out easily and three main points? Okay. Keep looking. You're going to find all kinds of mistakes in here. Does this person have an opinion paragraph? Does this person have a conclusion paragraph? Are there citations? And then lastly, you should have automatically noted that what I handed you is not 3 pages. And that person just walked away with a 70 or less. Hint. Okay. Bibliography. All right, take a look. Large bibliography at the top. No, not really large. Should be bigger. But all caps, underlined, and centered. And then if you look at the ones that are listed here, are they in alphabetical order by author's last name? Okay, looks good, except this person made a colossal mistake because he mentioned Wikipedia. Thou shalt not use Wikipedia. It is notoriously inaccurate, and AMU has a rule: you will not use it on pain of death. All right, now, that's how you're going to do your papers, and that's how you're going to make an A for me. Now, this is the second part. For some of you, you're going to select to do a PowerPoint. Okay, fine, if it's approved by me, which brings up a point. All subjects must be approved by me before you start writing. If you pick a subject like, I want to write everything there ever was written about World War II, get real. You cannot possibly do that. You have to pick a subject that is pretty precise. That's why you have to pass it by me for approval. If you pick a subject, I note it in my notebook, and once 2 people in the class pick the same subject, I will now send you a message saying it's off limits. For example, the first time I get the word Mark Twain, I note it, and it's a very popular subject, or steamboats. You get the idea. Once 2 people pick it, it's off limits. All right, now, back to the PowerPoint. This is a PowerPoint that was done, which was really close to being perfect. All right, this person selected the Battle of New Orleans, and this is the cover slide. Okay, slide. Notice the title, large, good. Appropriate picture, good. Name block in the bottom corner, good. All right. So just think of this as a slide program. This page, which is next, is the same thing as your introduction paragraph. All right. Does it have a thesis statement? Yes, at the top, and 3 main points in bullet form. So it tells the reader, okay, these are the things I'm going to hit. All right. So we're going to go quickly through the slides, and you have to kind of ask yourself, is this covered? Next slide. Okay, this person got a sort of diarrhea of the keyboard coming up with pictures. Wonderful. Notice the background for the slides have the American flag in faded form. Wonderful. Okay, so as this person is telling the story of the Battle of New Orleans, you'll notice at the very bottom of the slide, down here, you'll see the person's citation, which means I need to go back to the bibliography and figure out, is this a good source? Did he list it? But it is cited, which means this is not plagiarized. Good. Next slide. You notice that he's doing this in bullet format. If you have to put more than 2 sentences in there, it's not right. It's not a PowerPoint. Good. Notice the bottom, citation, good picture. Action. And you can see that there's bullet forms. He got a little bit carried away by having 4 bullets, but that's about as max as you can get. A little too far carried away on this about bullets, but that's okay. And notice he's got citations at the bottom. Cool. Same here. Okay. and he's got a good diagram of the problem here. All right, the Treaty of Ghent and the citation. Good. Results. Anytime you have numbers like this, you have to have citations, because this is stuff that would not come out of the back of a third grader's head. All right, you have to be able to cite it. All right. Conclusion. All right, and it's complete. Thank you. And then, of course, there better be a good bibliography. And there it is, all caps, underlined, centered. I'm a happy camper. This person is right now sitting at a 100. Okay. The only thing I'm going to do now, after I finish the whole thing, is I'm going to go back and check, does this person have any comma errors, misspelled words, and so on. Well, I will guarantee you this was pretty close to a perfect paper slide program. So there you go. How to write a paper or a PowerPoint. If you have any questions on anything, please do not hesitate to send me a message. I'm here for you, and I'm here for you to have a successful class. Thank you.